Hello and welcome to episode 2 in our series of Planet Coaster 2. We are playing on PS5 and we are in the sandbox mode, which means that we don't have to worry about the park management options and we can just focus on our creativity. So we have unlimited cash and what we're going to do is, rather than dropping in a load of prefabricated stuff, we're going to build it ourselves. So at the end of episode 1, this is what we'd managed to do. We'd managed to get our first log flume in, but unfortunately trap our guests in the swimming pool. So as exciting as it was, we do need to give them a way out. So I'm not going to connect the path in straight to the exit, because that would be a bit weird that they just go down a log flume and get straight out. So let's start using our trusty stamp builder just to create some pools underneath for the guests to get to. And this is a really good, easy means to create swimming pools quite quickly. So quite happy with that. That kind of mirrors even what's above. So we need to make sure that we connect that to our path so that the guests can reach it and exit the pool or enter it. So we'll just do that there. That's good. We are kind of blocking off our entrance a little bit, but we'll come back to that. So I wanted to have that entrance branch off, perhaps underneath those swimming pools and the mountain itself. So we'll sort that out afterwards. And we're going to connect the top pool to the bottom one, so we can use the so if you press the square button either up or down on the pad, I'm going to call it a joystick there, that shows my age a little bit, on the pad. And if it's too steep, it will turn red as it's done there, but we can then make sure that we're getting our path down to the right level to connect the two pools together. And as you can see, I've gone a little bit crazy there, and we've gone kind of underground, so that's not going to connect. So we'll use our trusty quick undo button, which is holding down square and pressing back on the directional stick. So the idea of the series is you can join me as I build this. I'm not going to go too in depth about every game mechanic, but basically I've done quite a few different parks and just experimented. So I'll kind of talk through what I'm doing, but not in masses of detail about how that's done, you know, the different options. So quite happy with that. We've got some pathing that goes through that nice little ravine, so our guests can get up to the top there, they can get to the services, and they seem to be quite happily going up there. They've got some changing facilities, they can come down the log flume into the pool. You can see they're already able to exit that to the bottom pool. So we're going to go to this area over here, which I am going to make into another swimming pool. So it's already got a bit of landscaping around it, which kind of does half the job for us. So I don't want to go too crazy around here because I want to save as much of the memory for the overall park. So it's termed as a complexity meter on the game itself. So I suppose it's as it says on the tin, the more complex it is, the more memory it uses. So we are just going to focus on pools and landscaping as a starting point, and then we'll finesse that over time. So I'll do this and record the videos, as I say, in bite-sized chunks, so you're not just watching 20 minutes of me move a palm tree around. So we'll do those finishing touches a little bit later on. And as I said in episode 1, if you've got any suggestions for a park name, I think I'd put it down as YouTubers, or anything that you've learned from playing the game that could make this better, then drop that in the comments and I'll make sure to read them. So what I wanted to be able to do is just see whether if I place the swimming pool down that's a no. Then it would build it underneath the pathing. So on other builds, what I've done, which is probably the better way around, is to put the pools down and then put the path in over the top of it, which is quite nice. So currently our guests can't reach our pool, so we need to rectify that next and connect it there. So we've got intersecting terrain, so that's not going to work. So we just need to find the right angle for that to connect. That seems like it's going to do it. That's fine. So we then have given our guests a way to access the pool, and we can concentrate a little bit more on this area. So there's a nice little cave area under there where we could potentially add some water to make a nice waterfall, and I quite like the idea of there being some plants and rocks and things around the pool just to make it a bit more interesting, but we'll just sort the placement so that it's a little bit better rather than palm trees floating randomly in the middle of the pool. So we've already got there, you can just see at the bottom of the screen that we've got guests going into the pool. It looks like they're almost diving in from the coach. And the coach is overhanging that pool. Look at them all jumping in there, all quite happy. And that shows, if they're going to all the different areas, that means that we've done quite a good job of linking things together. So we'll just move these. I think that one would probably look quite nice over this side near the path itself. So we'll just zoom out and see how that looks overall. God, that pool's already fairly busy, isn't it? There we go. Put that in there. And that's looking pretty good actually. So we'll just move the rock a little bit just so that it's nearer to the tree. And so there's a scenery brush option here where you can kind of choose a diameter and it'll populate it with whatever kind of tree, shrubs or rocks that you select, but it does place them quite randomly, so being able to move them around like I've just done is quite handy. What we're going to do here is we're just going to put a couple of wave machines on just to make this area a little bit more interesting, although the guests seem to be quite happily swimming around in there. There we go. Two enough? Yeah, I think that's probably about right, and we can see them all jumping and dive bombing in. There's some really funny animations actually on this. So there we go, we've got our pool area, we've got connected paths there, and then what we'll do is we will focus on some other areas. We'll just do a little bit of quick landscaping using the scenery tool just to change this to a more sandy texture. So that's quite a big area there, let's reduce that down, and we can just start to change that to sand on the textures. There we are. So the intensity meter kind of is how much it fills in, the diameter is how big that is. So you can do quite a lot of it quite quickly in terms of your landscaping. And that, I think, will just about do it for episode 2, because I don't want to make them too long. Hopefully you'll join me in episode 3 and beyond, so that we can carry on developing our park, and I hope it's an enjoyable series. Any suggestions you've got for me in terms of naming or what we might want to add to the park, then just drop them in there. It's a new channel, I'm hoping to grow it, and so I will make sure that I read every single comment where people have taken precious time out of the day to watch the videos. So that just leaves me to say thank you very much if you made it to the end, and I hope to see you in episode 3.